What's up? What's up? Back at it with another. We're gonna talk about what's going on with No Loud. I mean, please like, share, subscribe. It's a rainy day right now. Wherever you all are, hope everything is great. We're gonna see some updates about Nolan Wells. That's
Reporting live from Myers Club, Fight Plus News, I'm Janava.
Detail assistant, Vicky speaking. How can I help you? Of course. How far is the word coming up, sir?
Breaking news coming out of Mississippi.
mm.
A little over 20 days after Nolan Wells' disappearance and death, there now appears to be a major breaking case that the public is finally hearing. Yesterday, we released an extended version of the audio call his friends would make to the Seato company when they alleged they were having issues with their boat and was sinking.
Okay, how many adults on board?
There's 0 adults on board.
There's nobody on board the boat?
No. Nobody here.
How do you all think about the influence of alcohol? Honestly, me personally, I believe it probably has some influence in what happened, but I don't think it was all the way the reason why it happened. Just let me know in the comments.
Over the age of 21.
Sir, that was not the question.
Now, this version we shared originally obtained by TMZ would only capture when you first hear the driver of the boat speak with the operator. Now, late Saturday night, local outlet WLOX would go on to release a completely unedited version of the call provided by the Mississippi Department of Maritime Resources. And in the first few seconds, it appears for some that not only Wells was on the boat with his friends when they left Horn Island, that he also appeared to have passed away amongst them. At the top of the call, while hold music played, you can hear panic from an unidentified young woman who appears to say Nolan, followed by, "Oh my God." Now, as the driver of the boat tries to explain the situation regarding the boat itself, you would then hear a male voice in the background seemingly yell, "Wake up, wake the F up."
Detail assistant, Vicky speaking. How can I help you?
Hey, we're at the west tip of Horn, and our bilge pump stopped working. We're sinking. Can y'all please come? We have a membership.
All right, of course. How far is the word coming up, sir?
Now, of course,
Y'all heard that, chat? You could tell like it was some commotion going on in the back, basically. I don't know what was going on, but you could tell something was going on, honestly.
to the conversations in the background not taking place a part of the actual call, the way some are hearing this could be challenged by those who choose not to see it that way. Now, as an attempt to better make out the background chaos, we will remove the whole music at the beginning in an edited version.
The connection.
Detail assistant, Vicky speaking. How can I help you?
Hey, we're at the west tip of Horn, and our bilge pump stopped working. We're sinking. Can y'all please come? We have a membership.
All right, of course. How far is the word coming up, sir?
Now to note, we as well personally can't help but to hear what many are now picking up as well as potential final moments now that this version of the tow call has been released. Now for some, as the call continued, there appeared to be other questionable moments in the background for listeners, as the boat driver identified as White Pyron continued to speak with the operator. Like at the end of the call, when you hear the called Seato captain express that he got a direct call from the grandfather of Pyron, who would tell him that the tow was no longer needed. This for some will be the beginning of a cover-up to minimize witnesses.
Hi, Captain. This is Vicky from International. How you doing today?
Doing good. How are you?
Good. I apologize ahead of time. I really do. You're going to have a free service come up under Cherry.
Okay.
It sounds like a bunch of kids on board on Horn Island. He's letting me know that his father's a member, but he can't give me any information. And saying the boat is sinking. And he's on Horn Island. It's just unfortunate because the kid has a lot going on. So he said there's about a lot of people on board. He says he thinks about 7. I'm guessing they're all under 18. And I'm not trying to be rude. He wants you guys to go out there and unpump the boat and then tow it in.
Do you know what kind of boat it is?
He said, I tried it in
Do
24.
you think the grandpa honestly told the kids like, yo, don't say anything, be quiet, cancel the help from the boat helpers. I think lifeguards. They're not lifeguards, they're basically like coast guards to help them come. It just the situation honestly, I could see two ways it happened. One way, basically, um the friends, maybe he was drinking too much, maybe he caught a reaction, maybe they were doing drugs and he just blacked out on a boat. Or they could be or the second one is that they got in a fight. When they was fighting, then maybe someone hit him wrong, he fell, broke his neck. Anything could happen. I think those are actually the two options. Let me know which ones you think happened, what actually happened to Nolan.
But that's all he could give me.
Okay. Alright, yeah, I just actually got off the phone with his grandpa, who I'm guessing is the owner of the boat, and he said that, yeah, Jerry, yeah, he said, I just hung up with him. He said that they don't need any help right now, but if something changes, they'll call me back. So, I'm guessing that they may have figured it out, because that's what he said. If they're in a panic and their boat's all crazy.
They're in a panic.
Since the beginning of this case, many have questioned Wells' friend's story, as many things appeared inconsistent throughout, and those online will call out the entire situation as being a cover-up of the death of another black teen in Mississippi. So what happens next? Given that this call is now officially 22 days old, we're certain
Damn, 22 days. Seemed like it just happened like the day ago.
the local officials and investigators have examined it by now. And given that agencies like the FBI are involved, we can also be certain that they have the resources to completely clean distorted audio with specialized forensic audio tools that can isolate speech. Now, according to reports, the FBI has perfected this ability since the 1960s as a way to improve distorted speech from wiretaps, 911 calls, and covert body wires. Now, what we unveiled is the case, and we all have now witnessed that Nolan was back on the boat that day where he potentially lost his life. Many individuals can now face consequences, like all of his friends who were on the boat that never gave Wells' family and authorities the truth and potentially helped get rid of his body. The stepmother of Warren Hudson, Judge Ashley Cole, who would push potential false statements. The grandfather Wyatt Pyron, who looks to have helped his grandson avoid serious consequences. The adults who supplied the teens with alcohol, causing them to potentially make terrible decisions that day. And local law enforcement for failing to aggressively move forward on making arrests when there were signs early on, like Exhibit A, picture of Nolan and his underage friends drinking. And more specifically for Sheriff John Ledbetter for expressing he didn't see any signs of foul play before an autopsy was even conducted. This recent update not only could highlight criminal bias, but also media bias because, again, this audio is over 20 days old, but for some reason, none of the major outlets played it in its entirety, which would have captured the slurred speech by Pyron, the boat's driver, thus potentially incriminating him of boating under the influence, which again is against maritime law, as well as capturing him stating that none of the occupants of the boat were over 21 years old, the legal drinking age in Mississippi.
Okay.
How many adults on board?
There is 0 adults on board.
There's nobody on board the boat?
No. Nobody here is over the age of 21.
Sir, that was not the question.
On Thursday, Mississippi District
I
Attorney
see
Angel
someone say a
Myers
large-scale
McIlrath
cover-up.
would speak out about the case and would defend the pace of the investigation as it would now be presented to a grand jury when it's complete.
I understand the public's urgency to know what happened to Nolan, but we are not taking time for time's sake. We are taking the time required to complete the work this investigation demands. Since Nolan was reported missing, local, state, and federal law enforcement agencies have worked around the clock investigating what happened to him. Every piece of evidence must be examined. Every credible lead must be followed to its conclusion. Every witness interview must be analyzed in context of all other evidence. The pressure for answers does not change what the work requires. I also understand that many people have questions about why more information has not been released publicly. In Mississippi, the rules of professional conduct restrict the information a prosecutor can release during an investigation. Our restraint in communicating facts and evidence is not an effort to keep the truth from the public. It is an effort to protect the integrity of this investigation and the grand jury proceeding. As your district attorney, I have an ethical obligation to avoid public statements that could influence witnesses, prejudice a proceeding, or compromise the fairness of the legal process. My obligation extends to and requires me to use reasonable care to ensure investigating agencies avoid making those statements and releasing information as well. These rules exist to protect the search for the truth, not to prevent it. When the public asks, what about this, or have they looked at that, or did they think about this? The answer is yes. Those are the same questions investigators ask. The difference is that we can't publicly discuss the evidence, the interviews, or what those efforts have uncovered while the investigation is underway.
As far as Wells' family, they continue to ask witnesses to come forward and are expected to investigate Wells' home with investigators assigned to the case. We all are also awaiting the findings from Wells' first autopsy now that the independent autopsy deems his cause of death as undetermined. And so if this captured audio accurately depicts what many are now hearing, the pain and lack of trust that Black Americans have expressed becomes more valid. And on the birth of Emmett Till, July 25th, 85 years later, Mississippi gains another stain on the state's history. Reporting live from my club, Friday Plus News, I'm Janab.
That is kind of true. And like, it's look more suspect with the family having connections and all that. That what makes it worse. I see people, someone said a large scale cover up, most definitely, it what it looks like. And I see someone, he moved his phone several times and his grandpa called off the tow. Let's see what the comments say. The boys' parents, state, sheriff, police, DA, etc. had this the whole time and still tried to tell us they didn't know nothing and they didn't know what happened to him. Let that sink in. Everyone keeps saying they're trying to cover it up. Now let's go back and see if there are any more videos. But yeah, man, this case is getting crazier by the moment. Look at this guy update.
Let's talk about Nolan Wells and his supposed friends. This is one of them up here on the right. This is Warren Hudson. Now, when it comes to the data that was supposedly deleted off of Nolan Wells' phone, his friends are saying that they didn't delete anything, and Nolan Wells' parents are saying that there was stuff deleted. But when it comes to the alleged deleting of evidence off of Nolan Wells' phone, I'm gonna take the friend's side. I don't think that they would have deleted evidence off of his phone if they did anything bad to him. I think they would have chucked it in the water. Or just destroyed the shit out of it. No one's got time to pick and choose certain things that they're gonna delete. They're just gonna get rid of the phone as a whole. When it comes to Nolan Wells missing and who made the call first, I'm gonna side with the parents. I don't think the friends made the call first. I think the parents called the friends to ask where their son was. It's a mother's instinct. They know everything. They knew something was wrong. I think his mother made the call first. Those were the two most recent things I've heard about regarding Nolan Wells' death, so I just wanted to state my opinion. Not that many people care. Just wanted to put it out there.
All right, shout out to Lucas Crime. I see someone said a polygraph everyone on that boat. That's a good thought, honestly. Polygraph and see. But polygraphs, you could come up with polygraph. Hard. Let's hit a friend.
Okay, so one of Nolan Wells' best friends, Tracy Shepard, responded to Nolan's mom saying that she doesn't know him and basically called her a bold-faced lie.
You don't know me? That's mind-boggling. I'm in all these homecoming and prom photos. Me and Nolan are standing next to each other. Me and her have never had a sit-down in-depth conversation like me and her have now. It was always, hey, how you doing? I've been to her house multiple times. I've taken Nolan to school multiple times. I've left my vehicle at her house multiple times, and even including the new vehicle I just got has gotten left at her house for 2 days. And I just got it, I haven't had it for 4 months. My vehicle for that stayed at her house for almost a week. Me and her son went on trips.
Someone saying anything, another thing. How much are they paying you, my brother?
together. We went to Florida for spring break together.
Now, as you all can see, Trayson is the other black kid in Nolan's friend group. And according to him, Nolan was his best friend in the whole world. And even though he just clapped back at Nolan's mom during his 45-minute sit-down with Officer Tatum, he basically put all the blame on Benjamin Crump for fanning the flames of a false story. And according to Trayson, Ocean Springs is a close-knit community, and their friend group doesn't see race. Yeah, man, what do y'all think about Trayson and his side of the story? Let me know. Okay, so one of Nolan Wells' best friends, Trayson Shepard, responded to Nolan's mom saying that she doesn't know him and basically called her a bold-faced lie.
You don't know me? That's mind-boggling. I'm in all these homecoming and prom photos.
Yeah, I think he's true. I know he on Officer channel. You know, Officer Tatum's known for being a coon in the black community. Y'all let me know. Let's see what the mother.
Now listen to Nolan Wells' mom, and I'm gonna say this because with all due respect, she lost her baby. She wanted to thank people that have been supportive of her son. I just wish that they would never work with Benjamin Crump and them. They corrupt everything they touch, in my opinion. Roll the clip.
Hey Boo Bears. I know you probably did not expect to see me, but I had to come on because I wanted to acknowledge all of your love, your support, your kindness that you guys have been showing me. But right now it's just, everything is so heavy. Everything is so heavy. Just been going through the motions, you know. I'm a healthcare provider, so I talk about grief a lot. Now to be on the other side of this
His mom is a nurse practitioner.
is it's a lot. So I lost my mom a few years ago, and that was hard. This loss, this grief, this pain, it's different. It's insurmountable. And then it's like you get these flood of emotions all at different times, and grief is so multi-layered. You know, one second I might be okay and I can talk about things and I can listen to his stories, and then the next minute I am falling apart and I feel like I can't breathe, and I feel like there is an elephant just sitting on my chest. And I know if no one was here, he'd be like, Mom, you know, just keep talking to the people, keep telling my story, keep telling your story. So that is going to be my plan. Again, thank you all so much. I love you, and I will talk to you later.
There's a lot of things I want to say, but I'm going to reserve my opinions until later. If I find out that Benjamin Crump and them done lied about this stuff, done made up stuff, done had access to evidence that they refused to see, or they refuse to communicate with people, because to be honest, if you want justice for Nolan Wells, you better be calling and communicating with everybody involved. Now listen to Nolan.
Let's see the comments. To be fair, no matter what you feel about the case and circumstance, no parent should have to bury a child. That's a whole different type of grief. Now, hey, let's look at I don't know if you remember Chadwick Boseman. He was the star of Black Panther. He died recently, and there have been problems with him and his family, specifically his wife and his brothers over the estate. Let's go check a look on that.
For those who return, just to witness their friend's reaction.
Yeah, but it's sad when you see families, you all fight, especially about money. You know, death brings the worst out of people at times. I'm a big believer you have to have your house in order before you walk out the door. Have everything in like legal documentation, different trust funds, different accounts for the person, or even like a life estate. It's the best thing. Oh, wait, let me turn this. My
This
bad.
Derrick
Y'all.
Boseman and Kevin Boseman filed a
They all
lawsuit
look
on behalf
alike.
of their parents, Leroy Boseman and Carolyn Boseman, to suspend and remove Chadwick's widow, Taylor Simone Ledward, as the administrator of his estate. Derrick and Kevin are explaining the reason why. The brothers say in a July 23rd statement to People magazine, "For years, our parents have sought clarity regarding matters connected to the estate of our brother, Chadwick Boseman, including his intellectual property and legacy. This action was filed on behalf of and with the authority of our parents, Leroy and Carolyn Boseman, who assigned their respective interests in the estate to Boseman Family, LLC." According to Derrick and Kevin, their family was, quote, unaware until recently that nearly 4 years after the court's October 4th, 2022 order for final distribution, the administrator had not closed the probate estate. They continue, "Our petition seeks enforcement of the court's order and the relief requested in the filing. Because this matter is now before the court, we will respect the legal process while remaining focused on the facts set forth in the petition." E! News has reached out to reps for Derrick and Kevin as well as to Taylor's attorneys for comment, but has not heard back. The family's lawsuit comes nearly 6 years after Chadwick died of colon cancer.
It's been that long, 6 years. I can remember when he first got sick. This commentator, just hilarious, was making fun of him, and unknowingly, she didn't know about his sickness, and she actually very forgiving about it, very apologetic, and yeah, man, that whole situation. I mean, it's sad, but the good thing about it, he had a career. He had one of the biggest movies of all time, so he went out on top. May his spirit rest in peace.
At the age of 43. In documents obtained by E! News, the Boseman brothers alleged that Taylor had not properly distributed his assets, including more than $3.8 million in cash and other assets, despite the 2022 court order to distribute 25% of his estate to each of Chadwick's parents. Kevin and Derrick also alleged in their filing that Taylor failed to fully account for the late Oscar nominee's assets, noting his estate includes more assets such as royalties and residuals, image and intellectual property rights, real property, a previously undisclosed bank account, and other personal property. The filing stated these rights properly belong to decedent's heirs, but are ostensibly managed by Chadwick Boseman Inc., a corporate entity completely controlled by Taylor and through which she continues to profit from decedent's fame. According to the suit, Kevin and Derrick claim that Chadwick's widow, whom he wed in 2020, had blocked them from pursuing lucrative business.
Whoa, he wed her in 2020. He died in 2020. Dang, I believe that they believe that she wasn't married that long. They wasn't married that long, and she came up with this money. Chadwick Boseman was very wealthy. Honestly, from that movie, I forgot how much they made. I know they took like a percentage, I believe. And he died like within that time span. They really don't believe that she deserving role, but that was his wife, and by paper, she is deserving of it. Y'all let me know in the comments.
Business opportunities that might benefit decedent's elderly parents. The family alleged that Taylor's handling of their late brother's estate creates the appearance that she is concealing assets from decedent's family and from the court, and requested that the court compel her to properly distribute the late actor's estate as well as remove her as the administrator of it. Taylor had previously listed Chadwick's total worth as including $151,000 in cash.
What? She listed $151,000 and $241,000. We know he's worth way more than that.
$41,000 in an IRA account and $3.3 million worth of stock for Chadwick Boseman Inc., according to the court order that was included in the filing. The court found that Taylor's list of his assets was true and correct, and noted that she waived her administrator's fee.
R.P. to Chadwick Boseman. Very unfortunate. Let me see if there's any more videos. This video is kind of getting too long. I'm gonna make another video in a few hours. So y'all keep me up. I truly appreciate you all watching my videos. As I've been seeing, I'm getting more and more up there. Eventually, I'll be getting monetized before I even notice. To basically like take care of myself and my family. I really appreciate you all. Please like, share, and subscribe.
Chadwick Boseman's brothers are speaking out after taking legal action against their late brother's widow on behalf of their parents. Derrick and Kevin Boseman asked a Los Angeles court to remove Chadwick's widow as the administrator of his estate, claiming she hasn't properly distributed the remaining assets. Under California law, she's entitled to 50% of Chadwick's estate because he died without a will just 6 days after they married in 2020.
Dang! So that's only 6 days they were married, and he died. Wow, I felt like he probably felt that he was gonna die. He wanted to get married quick. So I could see where the contention come from the family. Like, jeez, man. This kind of remind me of, if you all remember Dwayne Haskins, how he married his girl that he just met, and he was like married no longer than 2 years before his death, and the parents didn't know the girl. She wasn't. I don't think the parents even came to the funeral. This is what it reminded me of.
Chadwick's parents are entitled to the remaining 50%, split equally at 25% each. Chadwick Boseman's brothers are speaking out after taking legal action against their late brother's widow on behalf of their parents. Derrick and Kevin Boseman asked a Los Angeles.
How can this one commenter said, how can you not have a will going through such a thing? That's true, but you got to think he probably was stressed out. He was in the right mind. He going through colon cancer, one of the most aggressive cancers out there. So I could kind of see maybe why he didn't want to like do it, or just didn't think of it. Everyone get a will for your family's sakes. Facts. Facts. Alright, that's the end of that video. I want to thank you all so much for watching my videos. Please like, share, subscribe. I truly appreciate it. Thank you so much. Have a great one.